Good morning, everybody. This is Katya from Katya Homm Properties. Welcome to another beautiful day with another beautiful pareja here next to me, Kari and Frode from the old continent of mine. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I really wanted to share your story with the people, and I really would like you to tell us how you found Puerto Vallarta. Why Puerto Vallarta? You just purchased a condo here in La Cruz de Huanacaxtle, but your story goes back for much, much longer. So tell us about it, please.
All right. Do you want to start? Should I start?
Go for it. You get it rolling.
Well, so despite being born and raised in Norway, I realized fairly early on that the climate in Norway wasn't really agreeable to me. Not all the time, anyway.
I can relate to that.
Certain times during the summer was fine, but the winters not so much so. So I was drawn to warmer climates, and that's how I ended up heading off to California to actually go to school, where I met Kari at university.
Yep.
And I thought Southern California was quite nice and warm for the time. But eventually, it also ended up being slightly cold for me, so I needed to get to even warmer places. And we liked spending time on a boat, on the water, near the water. That has always been both of us. I mean, she basically grew up cruising and
if you could say I grew up, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
I got older cruising.
Right. She spent a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
So that's where we ended up. We ended up on the boat. We ended up staying in Southern California for a long time. Then we actually had to do some work, so that took us away to the mountains of Colorado, where we got plenty of cold and plenty of snow again, and we actually liked it for the time that it took, and then we wanted to get back to warmer stuff again.
Like the Christmas period, no? That week max.
Yeah. Powder snow.
Yeah, we were talking about that we love the winter, we love the snow for about 1 to 2 weeks at a time.
Exactly.
Just, use it as some place that you can go and play, and that's it.
Yeah, and Mr. Born and raised in Norway ended up with a medical condition, if you're all right with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Urticaria. He's actually medically allergic to the cold.
Wow.
So he ends up getting
all the excuses.
Yeah,
I know.
He
I know.
does. So this is for medical reasons.
Yeah. The best excuse ever.
Yeah, I mean.
Anyway, so we ended up, we didn't have a boat when we were living in Colorado, and we had decided to have one again after all the years of having had the previous one. And that lasted about 2 months before I was online searching, and then I found one, and that's the current one.
Found my dream boat, the absolute best boat of all boats. I grew up on boats, around boats, and with every boat show coming or going.
I want to hear about this.
Oh, well.
Please.
But the boat that he ended up finding, it's everything. I mean, it ticks off all of the boxes. It gets us everywhere we want to go. It is self-sufficient. You can have your own electricity with the solar panels and the batteries. You make your own water out of the salt water. You can go anywhere in the world. It's really comfortable, and it's adventure on the move. It's fabulous. And so we got our dream boat when we were in the mountains of Colorado, up above 8,000 feet in the Rockies, and we're buying a boat. You
gotta use this.
Yeah.
And it ended up, it was patient. It sat there waiting for us for 2 years while I finished up the job, and we could finally pack up all of our land-based stuff.
We sold everything.
We gave it away mostly.
Yeah, mostly. Well, no, we sold the houses.
We sold the house,
Yeah.
Gave away everything else, moved aboard.
Get on the boat.
Yeah.
Wanted to get to more tropical climes, and
headed out for South Pacific or French Polynesia.
Yeah.
And
it stopped in Ensenada on the way, and was just going to do it for for reasons of doing some little things to the boat, just get some more stuff.
He modified the entire boat. He took it up from being a boat that would get you everywhere to a boat that almost flies itself, where it's the systems he put on there, because he does all of the customized stuff himself. And so this boat it not only ticks off all the boxes that you want on something, it goes so far above and beyond all of that. So it's just...
But still, our ultimate goal was French Polynesia, but we ended up spending more time in Ensenada than we had planned due to a variety of reasons. And we decided, okay, let's just be Mexico tourists.
Yeah.
And
there was so much here. We weren't done. Are you talking years again?
About 6 years ago.
Yeah. And
So
we
we
definitely weren't done with Mexico. There's so much. And the more that we were here, the more we liked it. And it was just, it was hard to think about leaving.
And we had other friends on boats that also said,
This is as good
don't
as
bypass this area of Mexico.
And this
on your way,
area.
because,
And this area.
So
this is something that you
Yeah.
really, really want to experience.
And we did.
But we went to a lot of places that people had experienced before us and had great things to say about. And when we got there, we didn't quite agree with their assessments. So we had some questions about a lot of these different places. Anyway, long story of how we ended up getting here. We made our way down the Baja. We made our way up to La Paz and into the Sea of Cortez, because that too is supposed to be just an absolutely wonderful place to be.
And it is gorgeous waters. And again, the people were really, really nice. And we love good food. And there was a lot of good food up there. Great fishing, everything. Check, check, check. And then
La Paz ended up being just a little bit too hot.
And dry, right?
Yeah, it was a different climate, so...
Yeah, and luckily they have winds that come up every evening, but boy, you really do need those winds. And it was too extreme for us. I mean, we spent all of our time underwater, basically, just because it is gorgeous water and it's really nice. Yeah. We wanted something a little more balanced. And
we knew we were going to go to Puerto Vallarta anyway.
Yeah. That's where we had been heading, but then we ended up taking a sidetrack up through La Paz and Sea of Cortez. And the whole time it's like, yeah, this is really nice. Let's go to Puerto Vallarta. Oh, this is really nice.
Let's just check this out.
Yeah. Well, let's do this while we're here, because who knows if we're going to be coming back up this way. Probably not. Let's do what we can. And it took us a while before we finally got down here.
And Kari knew much more about this. I hadn't been down here before. I had just heard things. And it was my hairdresser in Las Vegas for many, many years who, every time I was in there, he said, I'm going to retire. I'm going to go back. He was from Mexico, and he wanted to go back to Mexico to retire.
I hope he made it.
He hasn't made it yet.
We're still calling him,
so
still telling
we're meeting him.
Come.
We're sending him pictures from down here and saying, okay, this is what you're missing out on, dude.
Tony, there's a whale breaching right off of the balcony here. We can see it right out over there. Come out, come visit.
Guys, sorry for the interruption, but we are in Alamar. This is one of my favorite complexes here. And the view from this departamento, we are on the 9th floor. Couldn't get any better. It's to die for.
Yep.
We spend a lot of time.
We spend a lot of time just sitting in the chairs outside and looking out over the water. This is absolutely
like we're here.
And finding out on the board. Because I'm sorry for the interruption.
No, that's right on time with it, because that's what we do. We're still, after having been here now, we've lived in this place now for 5 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And still every single day we get up and we can't really believe that we're actually here in this place. This is absolutely
And
fantastic.
His shoulder's getting a little soft because I keep punching him. Going, we did it.
So after 6 years on the boat.
Yep.
10 years with it because you have to count all
total,
of the working on it and everything too. But yeah, with that boat.
Coming down here and staying here, and now the boat is also in La Cruz.
Yeah,
but
it's down in the marina.
Doesn't serve as much of a purpose anymore because now that we have established as land base here, we don't really have any draw towards any other place.
I think you used it.
This is
can't
doing
say
it.
That it was not.
Yeah.
This is right now fulfilling all the ideas and all the dreams that we had. It's an excellent place to be. And this little village of La Cruz is right up our alley.
Yeah.
We really like the place.
We love it. It's so
We like the people here. We like the small community.
That's the nice thing, that it's still very Mexican, no?
Yeah,
It has
it
everything,
is.
but it still has the charm.
Yeah, and you don't feel as though it's been tainted. You know, it still has everything that you want here, and everybody is really, really sweet because they are sweet, not because they think they have to be sweet. You know, it's not.
It's a huge difference.
It is. It's not just. They're very real, very authentic, and very fun. You know, it's there are a lot of smiles, a lot of laughter going on down in town, and it's not just
La Cruz, the Huanacaxtle, is the place that I can never spell. So, Kari, you said that you were in the 70s already in Puerto Vallarta on a cruise, which was like super surprising. Can you tell us about it?
I was working for the Royal Viking Cruise Line. It's a Norwegian cruise line that had 3 sister ships, and I got one of the ships. It wasn't mine, but I got to work on it, and they paid me for traveling all over the world. And this is one of the places that we would go. We came here several times during the different cruises because the Royal Viking Star went everywhere. And we came down here on our way to South America, would drop off, not drop off. We came down here, would explore and have everything going on. But I didn't recognize Puerto Vallarta when I got back to it later in the years. It had changed so much. I didn't recognize coming in Banderas Bay or Bahia de Banderas. That was still the same, but getting into Puerto Vallarta, I didn't recognize anything. Maybe a street or two here or there that still had the cobblestones or whatnot, but it was so huge. It had just changed so much.
From the 70s, so the end of the 70s?
End of the 70s.
And then when was the last time? How many years were the gap?
What did we figure? That was, we came back in 2000 something or other.
That must have been shocking.
Yeah,
I didn't even think that there was any cruises in there.
Yeah, there was, yeah. We came out and back then it was, the big talk was Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton had, that's what, I loved the Puerto Vallarta from the 70s, the late 70s. And it was definitely, again, I was using it because there was the airport. And so people could fly down from anywhere and meet up with me down there to visit. And it's that made it so convenient. And we're using that now too, to have friends and family come down and visit. And now it's like, oh, okay, come share. You know, it's we like it so much. We want everybody to come down and be part of it.
I remember when we first met, and I asked you guys if you are thinking of going back to Norway. Do you remember?
Right.
And you said, no, we're going to bring Norway here.
Yeah, we've got it lined up. We've got, people that are they're buying their tickets. They're practicing some Spanish. That's got to be interesting. Having all these people learning Spanish in Norway now. It's not. Yeah, it should be fun. Yeah. I know it will be.
Our son who is still living back in Norway, he has what we think might be the only Mexican girl who has moved to Norway to settle down in there.
Yeah.
That's one of his friends, and they are really into the Mexican food thing together.
Okay.
So when he was visiting here, it was daily contact back and forth in just exchanges of all the different foods, and she would grade them as to how truly Mexican that was, or if it was more like
that looks like real birria. That's real menuda. Okay, it's just, and he loves to eat, so that worked out really well. That she would put her stamp of approval on whatever it was that he was eating, or say, that looks like a gringo menu. Go somewhere else. And it. Which worked out really well because he had brought 2 friends with him, and they were excited about anything, anywhere, and he wanted it to be authentic. So they kept it all real.
It's hard to find a Mexican restaurant in Europe, right? Or
in Norway, it's impossible. There are no Mexican
I think
restaurants.
because we don't have the aguacates, we don't have the stuff. I mean, no matter how much you want to force it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. They started up a couple places, but it just doesn't ring true, especially for people who have been here, eaten the food, know how good it is, and then you get back and they tame it down for Norwegian standards, because Norwegians
can't handle any spice.
No spices.
This is not going to happen.
Yeah.
We know a few people that handle spice a lot.
Yeah. And
you're sitting right next to them.
Yeah.
When did you see me eating spice?
Oh, no.
Where's eating spice?
Oh,
enormous amount of spice.
Yeah.
The spice
yes, but you've been here long enough,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I moved here, and it was just eating a little bit, and you just get used to it. So when I go home, I want spice.
Yeah.
It's just,
it's
addictive.
If your lips aren't tingling, you haven't eaten, you need more spice. You know?
It's completely addictive. Now you are out of the water. You are super happy here. You are. This is where you see yourself in the future, or what do you see? How do you see yourself in the next 2 years? If I can say this, I know there is another condo here in Alamar coming for you, right?
Yes.
That it's on the way. So
We were actually headed for, to start out, we were looking for a place while we were selling our boat. And then he found the whole spiel with the new apartment. And then while he got excited about that, we thought, we better have a place to live while we're waiting for that, because that's not going to be ready for a few years. And I was ready to be on land again, just to get into.
No, I'm not surprised.
I love having land under my feet again, just being able to. Convenience.
She especially loves having a surface that doesn't go like this.
I don't know how you did it for so many years, honestly.
It was part of who I was, and it was part of, I had no issue with it. That was life. That was sort of like the pulse.
You can always tell those that have been on board for a long time, because they can walk straight down when the boat is out there in all kinds of weather.
Your balance must be amazing.
But they come to land and they walk down the sidewalk and they walk like this.
Right?
Yeah, so I wanted to get my land legs again under me, and this is a perfect spot to do that, because, it's got...
So we're definitely seeing ourselves right here in the sofa and the outside
out on
sofa.
the balcony,
and the outside sofa, and in the new sofa.
Yeah.
When is the new you purchase in the new construction? That is on the way, the new tower. What is it called?
La Selva, the jungle.
It's 1 more year, 1.5.
No, it's actually it's going to be completed towards the end of 27.
Yeah, so we have time. And I've gotten very comfortable with this.
But we don't know what it's going to be about the new place that's going to be more exciting than here.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Because this is.
Yeah. This is
it.
Perfect for what we need,
really
what
like
we
it.
want. And
if you had to say something like to get the word out to people who are thinking of, okay, now it's Mexico, and they're still a little bit scared of making this move.
Right.
What would be your message to the hesitants out there?
Have Katya take care of it for you. That made such a difference. I mean, when you think about coming to a place where our Spanish is not good.
Where it needs to, not where it needs to be yet.
Yes, we're working on it. And all of the unknowns that you just can't know before you get here. And even when you're here, you don't always know what's going on. So it's really nice to be able to trust someone like you, not just like you, but trust you to go up there and know what we need to look for as far as all of the legalese, all of everything that goes into buying a place here. Because
all the little steps, all the parts of the bureaucracy, everything else that needs to be worked through.
Yeah, we had bought.
I had an insight into it beforehand because I had been studying it for a while after we decided that we were going to buy. And as I've said throughout this process, finding you just made this process absolutely wonderful. I could just sit back and relax.
I keep telling this to you guys, that you guys with Claudia, we were like thanking God in every single the easiest, the one of the people the easiest to work with, let's say it in a nice way. And I love that you guys read the contract and you had questions and we could go through everything. So I am very grateful as well.
That's good. That's how a relationship ought to be.
Yeah, it works. And it definitely, it made the whole process so much smoother, so much easier. We could sleep at night.
I felt that there was one point when you let it go. I felt that point when you were like, because it's not easy. I mean, you guys should know that being in the Mexican bureaucracy needs some kind of a, like a deep breath.
Yeah. And at the same time, not the deep breath that some others might use to yell once they got to that point. You handled everything so smoothly and so diplomatically, very politely, where I probably would have barked at somebody, and you smoothed it all out. It worked all the way through. And the things that I might have gotten tripped up on, they weren't in the way anymore.
You haven't seen me doing that.
No. Whatever it was that you did behind the scenes, it worked perfectly. So, keep doing it.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. And I truly, truly appreciate that you told your story, because I'm sure there are tons of people out there that had enough of wherever they live and they think of, enjoying life a little bit in a deeper context. And I think this is what Vallarta is about.
That is definitely what it's all about.
Yeah, it's very clear now as we're sitting here that this process does not need to be scary.
No.
It doesn't need to be convoluted.
No.
It doesn't need to be something that you should shy away from. It's a matter of finding the right people to help you out along the process, and then it actually becomes easy.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please reach out to us, reach out to me. I would love to help. Thanks for watching. Have a super day. Ciao.